United States allies in the Middle East and beyond are ready to send their troops into the Gaza Strip to restore order there. But Hamas still has a chance to make amends. This statement was made today by United States President Donald Trump. He stated that many Middle Eastern leaders have expressed their readiness to deploy their troops in the Gaza Strip to completely clear Gaza of the remnants of Hamas, if they don't calm down and lay down their arms. At the same time, the ceasefire in the Gaza Strip, brokered by the United States, seems to have withstood its first serious test. Israel and Hamas confirmed their commitment to the agreement after 2 Israeli soldiers were killed in the enclave on Sunday, which triggered a wave of airstrikes by the Israel Defense Forces. Now, both sides have expressed their desire to return to the ceasefire. But the main question remains unresolved. When will Hamas lay down its arms? And when will Israel and the Middle Eastern countries move on to the next stage, the issue of governing post-war Gaza? My name is Alexei Pecci. Today is October 21st. Let's discuss this topic together. Before we start, please subscribe to this channel, like the video, comment below, and join my Telegram channel, Pecci News. The link to it is in the description of this video. There we post breaking news as it comes in. And friends, if you want to support the work of this YouTube channel, you can do so with any donation using the links and details in the description of this video. It says there, support Alexei Pecci's channel. Choose any format that's convenient for you. I will be grateful for any support you give. So, Donald Trump stated today that many leaders of Middle Eastern countries have expressed their willingness to send their troops to restore order in the Gaza Strip. Quote, "Many of our now great allies in the Middle East and neighboring regions have directly and decisively, with great enthusiasm, told me that they are ready, at my request, to enter Gaza with large forces and restore order with Hamas if Hamas continues to behave badly, violating the agreements reached with us." At the same time, according to him, Trump told these countries and Israel that it is not yet time to resume hostilities. Quote, "There is still hope that Hamas will do the right thing. If not, then the end of Hamas will be swift, fierce, and brutal." And what's telling is that if we are to believe Donald Trump, the American leader thanked those countries that called themselves and offered their help. Supposedly, leaders of the Arab world and others are so tired of Hamas's lawlessness that they themselves initiated the proposal to send their troops into Gaza. Let me remind you that on October 13, United States President Donald Trump signed a Gaza Strip peace agreement with 3 Middle Eastern leaders. In particular, Hamas militants have already released all the hostages who had been held captive since 2023. A ceasefire has also been established between Israel and Hamas. But on October 19th, Israel reported that Hamas militants opened fire with grenade launchers and sniper weapons at Israeli soldiers. The incident took place in the southern Gaza Strip. Moreover, it happened beyond the so-called yellow line, that is, beyond the line to which, according to the agreement, Israel had withdrawn its troops. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu ordered the Israel Defense Forces to take decisive action. At the same time, Hamas denied violating the truce, hinting that they attacked not the Israeli army, but a militia in Gaza that supports Israel. But today, October 21, it can be said that the ceasefire in the Gaza Strip, achieved through United States mediation, seems to have withstood its first serious test. Israel and Hamas confirmed their commitment to the agreement after, unfortunately, 2 Israeli soldiers were killed in the enclave on Sunday, which triggered a wave of airstrikes by the Israel Defense Forces. The Israel Defense Forces said in a statement on Monday that they are beginning to resume compliance with the ceasefire as directed by the political leadership. Hamas and its military wing, the Al-Qassam brigades, said on Sunday morning that they remain committed to the ceasefire and deny involvement in the attack on Israeli forces. The statement of commitment to the ceasefire came after key architects of the agreement, Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner, arrived in the region to try to advance the next phase of the agreement. Also today, October 21, United States Vice President James David Vance arrived in Israel with the same goal. The White House stated that the administration remains focused on implementing the peace agreement. The White House also stated that they will not disclose details of the ongoing private diplomatic negotiations regarding the transition to the next stages of the peace agreement. They assure everything is on track Let me remind you, earlier on Sunday, Israel carried out a series of strikes on the Gaza Strip after accusing Hamas of carrying out an attack that resulted in the deaths of 2 Israel Defense Forces soldiers, 26-year-old Major Yaniv Kula and Senior Sergeant Itai Yavetz. This is the first case of Israeli soldiers being killed in the Gaza Strip since the ceasefire. And according to Gaza hospitals, as a result of Israeli strikes on Sunday in several areas of Gaza, at least 44 people were killed. Both Hamas and Tzahal blamed each other for breaking the ceasefire. It's important to highlight one key point here. Amid the renewed strikes, the military wing of Hamas announced that during ongoing search operations, the body of another Israeli hostage was found, and it will be handed over if field conditions allow. Hamas warned that any escalation by the Israeli military would make searching, digging, and retrieval more difficult. And here I will remind you that, according to Donald Trump's deal, Hamas was supposed to return all the bodies of the deceased hostages within the first 72 hours of the ceasefire. Now the militants openly admit that not even all the bodies of the hostages have been found. One more thing. Humanitarian aid deliveries to Gaza continue on Monday and Tuesday after Israel announced a halt to them on Sunday when Hamas attacked the Israel Defense Forces. And this quick announcement about the resumption of aid to the Palestinians just a few hours after the declared pause means that humanitarian aid deliveries may not have been significantly affected. And I'll note that right away. Israel's continued provision of aid to the Palestinians indicates an intention to maintain the key provisions of the ceasefire agreement with Hamas, which was brokered by the United States. But at the same time, the FAH checkpoint remains closed while Israel awaits the return of the bodies of all remaining hostages. This condition was clearly stated at the start of the truce. And now, groups of Palestinians are complaining that they are receiving too little humanitarian aid. However, Benjamin Netanyahu is facing pressure that forces him to respond to any violation from the far-right parties supporting his coalition. For example, Israel's Minister of National Security, Amar Ben-Gvir, called the resumption of humanitarian aid a disgraceful retreat. Next is a quote from Ben-Gvir. All this aid is being provided on the very day when Hamas killed 2 Israel Defense Forces soldiers and continues to violate the agreement and refuses to return the bodies of all our fallen. Enough with the retreating already. As of today, Hamas has returned 12 of 28 deceased hostages' bodies under the ceasefire agreement with Israel. All 12 have been officially identified. I'll leave it at that. Share your opinions and conclusions in the comments below this episode. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, and don't forget to like. That's all for now. Take care of yourselves. Goodbye, everyone. To be continued.